This November, we're celebrating the scholars that you've probably never heard of, but definitely should have. Now, when COVID-19 vaccines were developed at almost a record breaking speed in 2020, the world celebrated modern science's miracle. Most people, however, didn't know those mRNA vaccines were built on decades of work by Hungarian biochemist Dr. Katilin Karikó, whose work was repeatedly rejected, defunded, and dismissed by the scientific establishment. Katalin Karikó was born in 1955 in Hungary. She earned a PhD in biochemistry, then moved to the United States in 1985 with her husband and a 2-year-old daughter. She arrived with one obsession: making messenger RNA work as therapy. mRNA carries instructions from the DNA of cells to the protein making machinery within them. Karikó believed if you could create a synthetic mRNA and get into the cell, you could instruct the body to make any proteins, which was a brilliant idea, but it didn't work. Every time Karikó introduced synthetic mRNA into cells, the cells were recognized as foreign and they were destroyed. She applied for grant after grant, they were rejected almost every time. The scientific consensus mRNA therapy was a dead end. But in 1995, the University of Pennsylvania demoted her. She wasn't faculty quality because she couldn't secure funding. Given the choice, accept either demotion or leave, she stayed, accepting the lower position and the pay cut. Most would have quit at this point. Karikó kept working, and in 2005, after 2 decades of failure, Karikó and her colleague Drew Weissman figured it out. Synthetic mRNA contained uridine, which triggered an immune response. Now, by replacing uridine with a pseudo-uridine compound, the immune system left it alone. Now that worked. They published, yet the scientific world had still barely batted an eyelid. Years passed before anyone recognized that work as anything remotely significant. Karikó spent years trying to convince pharmaceutical companies to invest, but most still weren't interested. It was too unproven and too risky. Finally, a small German company, BioNTech, saw potential and hired Karikó as a senior vice president in 2013. She continued refining the technology. Then came 2020 when COVID-19 emerged. mRNA vaccines offered advantages over traditional approaches. BioNTech and Pfizer developed their vaccine in weeks, so did Moderna, building on Karikó and Weissman's discoveries. Millions of lives were saved. Suddenly the world wanted to know who made this possible. Then in 2023, Karikó and Weissman were awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine. She was 68. She'd spent her entire career. How many other brilliant scientists just give up? How many face rejection after rejection and just decide it's not worth it? How many potentially world-changing discoveries almost never happened because the person couldn't get the funding, couldn't survive years of failure? Karikó didn't give up, but she could have. So keep learning and keep questioning.